Ahoj, dobrý den, vítejte u dalšího nového videa. Hello and welcome to my new video. In this video we're going to learn about one specific word that can help you connect your ideas. Last week we spoke about který and how it can be replaced by co. Today we will look at a different word which is also a relative pronoun, and that word is což. Což. This particular word translates to which. Some time ago it started to be archaic, but now it's back in fashion. This is something that we use in both formal and informal Czech. In fact, I would even think is more common in informal Czech. So let's see how we use this word. Jdeme na to. Ahoj, vítejte na mém kanále Czech by Zuzka, kde vám pomocí angličtiny vysvětluju českou gramatiku. You might remember that the relative pronoun který or která, kterou can also mean which, and což also means which. So where's the difference? Let's see these two examples. Nemůžu najít knížku, kterou mi Lenka půjčila. I can't find the book which Lenka lent me. Kterou here means which or that. We also learned that we could even replace it by co here, and that would be more informal. Now let's see this sentence. Nemůžu najít Lenčinu knížku, což je velký problém. I can't find Lenka's book, which is a big problem. The words in these two sentences are a little bit similar, they're not identical, but also one significant change is here we have kterou, here is což. In this first sentence, kterou, which is a relative clause with this relative pronoun, refers to knížku. To je knížka, kterou mi Lenka půjčila. Lenka mi půjčila tuhle knížku. We give more information about the book. We specify what kind of book it was because it's not just a book. I'm looking for a particular book that Lenka lent me. In this sentence, I can't find Lenka's book. We already know it's Lenka's book, which is a big problem. This clause is additional information that we could even leave out. If we leave it out, we still know that this is Lenka's book, that is not a book. Here is one key difference. Který or která and all these other forms refer to a specific noun. They specify the noun, like here, knížka. Whereas což gives additional information about the whole clause. The fact that I cannot find Lenka's book is a big problem. So což refers to this whole situation. And in English, you would actually write it with a comma here. So this is another difference. Because in English, if you have additional information which can be left out and it doesn't change the meaning, you put comma in front of which. If it's something that needs to be there in order to specify the noun, like here, then you don't write comma. It's a necessary piece of information. We could also remember that což translates to which, but also which is something that. We give additional information about the whole situation, which is something that. So far, so good? Let's see some examples with což. Remember that což is commonly translated as which with a comma, and in Czech it also has a comma. Or we could also say which is something that. In Czech we could also replace it by these two words, a to, which means and that. Let me show you how it works. Nezavolal mi, což mě překvapilo. He didn't call, which surprised me, or which is something that surprised me, which is the fact that surprised me. We could also say in Czech, nezavolal mi a to mě překvapilo. He didn't call and that surprised me. A to, two words, they're also separated by a comma. So this is easy. In Czech we have a comma before což or before a to, and in English as well, comma which. We said that což refers to the whole clause, which is before it. So here is nezavolal mi. He didn't call, which is something that surprised me. So the fact of him not calling was surprising to me. It refers to the whole clause. You can even see in this previous clause there is no noun, so we cannot have který. Byla to úžasná dovolená, což jsme potřebovali. It was an incredible vacation which we needed. Which is something that we needed. Again, this is which. Or we say, a to jsme potřebovali. And that's what we needed. Což refers to this whole clause. The fact of this being a great vacation was something we needed. Zkouška byla těžká, což nikdo nečekal. Což the exam was difficult, which no one expected. No one expected the fact that the exam was difficult. We're not talking only about the exam, but the whole situation, the exam being difficult. We could also say again, zkouška byla těžká a to nikdo nečekal. Další. Neměla jsem čas, což byla škoda. I didn't have time, which was a shame. Nebo neměla jsem čas a to byla škoda. And that was a shame. This is something that you could use with your friends if you're shopping, for example. Tyhle šaty jsou jak na starou bábu, což ty rozhodně nejsi. This dress looks like it's for an old lady, which you're definitely not. This whole sentence is quite informal, so you can see což is used in everyday language. Every time you want to add more information, you want to add how you felt or how that affects you, then which, translated as což, is the perfect fit. Let's read these together. Nezavolal mi, což mě překvapilo. Byla to úžasná dovolená, což jsme potřebovali. Zkouška byla těžká, což nikdo nečekal. Neměla jsem čas, což byla škoda. Tyhle šaty jsou jak na starou bábu, což ty rozhodně nejsi. So, is it all? Is it just což all the time? A lot of times, yes, of course. There is a small catch. Což has cases too. When we use což, we refer to something in the nominative or the accusative case. Although což doesn't refer to any specific noun, but to the whole statement, we have to be mindful of what kind of verb is in the sentence, in that part where což appears. Those examples that I gave you were in the nominative case or in the accusative. But take a look at this one. V koupelně bylo prasklé umývadlo, something, jsem si poprvé nevšiml. There was a cracked sink in the bathroom, which I didn't notice the first time. Which is something I didn't notice the first time. We say which, right? We give extra information, we should use což, but we cannot. Což jsem si poprvé nevšiml is wrong because of this verb. Nevšiml jsem si. Nevšiml jsem si needs the genitive case. Take a notice of something. Nevšiml jsem si něčeho. So we're saying nevšiml jsem si toho, že v koupelně bylo prasklé umyvadlo. So we cannot say což jsem si nevšiml because což is only for the nominative and the accusative case. Take a look at this little table. Yes. Cases again. So what do we need? You can see that there is čehož, which makes sense because if you know how to use co in different forms, it's exactly those forms with ž at the end. So čeho is in the genitive form with a ž. Čeho jsem si nevšiml? What is it that I did notice? Takže v koupelně bylo prasklé umyvadlo, čehož jsem si poprvé nevšiml. We could have čemuž as well if you had the word rozumět, for example. If you said, which I didn't understand why it was broken because it was a new apartment. V koupelně bylo prasklé umyvadlo, čemuž jsem nerozuměl. But what if you said chápal? Chápat is to understand and it takes the accusative case. V koupelně bylo prasklé umyvadlo, což jsem nechápal. There it's fine. So you have to be mindful of the verbs that you use. Čemuž jsem nerozuměl, which is something I didn't understand because rozumět needs the dative case. Čemuž is in the dative case. Or here, což is fine because chápat needs the accusative case. I want to know if you've been listening. Let's test it with these two sentences. Each sentence has a mistake, so spot that mistake. Viděl jsem tam profesora, což mě učil. There's something wrong with this sentence. I saw a professor who taught me. Well, you can already hear that I said who. So this is not which. But even if there was something inanimate, we could still not use což. Here we specify profesor. So this is wrong. We have to say který mě učil. Or to practice the topic from last week, informally you would say co mě učil. What about this one? Byl unavený, které bylo znát. He was tired, which was noticeable. Of course, které doesn't make sense here. We want to say it was noticeable that he was tired. This is the fact that was noticeable. So here we say což. All clear, I hope. Now it's time for an exercise. Before we begin, let me show you an example of how we're going to do it. You will see 10 short sentences in total, 5 on each side, and your task will be to match one side with the other. This is just an example. For example, this one says nezavolali mi, they didn't call me, and the second part contains a to, and that surprised me. Your task will be to match 2 sentences that make sense, like this one. Nezavolali mě a to mě překvapilo. And connect them using což. We are going to do something very, very simple. This will be the easiest thing. You will write a comma and then což, and that's all. Instead of a to. Což mě překvapilo. You don't even have to change the word order because a to already takes the first position. So if there is any of those little words that need to be in the second position, they're already in the right place. So if you replace these 2 words by což, this will be exactly in the same place. Super easy exercise. Here it is. There will be more options, of course. Don't forget that we write a comma before což. Pause the video while you work on this. And now we are going to check it. Číslo 1. Mlčela jsem, což Kevina ještě víc naštvalo. This is one of the possibilities that make sense, but we could have something else. Maybe mlčela jsem, což se nestává často. Číslo 2. Šampon obsahuje sulfáty, což není zdravé. This one makes sense too. Číslo 3. Všichni přišli včas, což se nestává často. Číslo 4. Kolegové mi popřáli k narozeninám, což mě potěšilo. Or což se nestává často. A číslo 5. This one is interesting because you can see that we have který in one part followed by což, which can also happen. Což se může stát. Auta troubila na koně, který stál uprostřed silnice, což nic nevyřešilo. The cars honking at the horse didn't solve the fact that the horse was there standing in the middle of the road and didn't move. In this exercise, you can see that sometimes it doesn't matter what's in the previous sentence because you can have all kinds of combinations. The second part of the sentence often doesn't contain words from the previous sentence. So there is a logical connection, yes. But like in this exercise, you can have several possibilities because což can give you all kinds of explanation. So this is all. I hope this video was helpful and interesting for you because což is common in everyday language. I hope you will start noticing it around you and maybe even be brave enough to use it. And if you're brave enough, drop a comment using což and don't forget to comma. Děkuji, že jste se dívali. Uvidíme se zase za týden. Čau.